Well, this week we're going to get the sideboards installed, and then possibly we might see a little better picture of just how this coach was wrecked. Well, the picture I chose for the introduction this week is a picture of the Borax 20 Mule Team wagons that were wrecked by a flash flood in Death Valley. Ironic as it might seem. But similar, this wagon that we're working on has also gone through a wreck, and as I get a little more involved into the ironwork, I think we're going to see a little better picture of maybe what happened. Well, I've been holding off taking this body too much further apart than it already is. But I need to get the rockers off so I can sandblast the iron, rebuild those. Those are going to go underneath the framework that we have going. And I am more and more convinced that these irons are a repair job after a wreck. So I'd like to get these off and see just what's underneath here and on the back. So I think I've got just one bolt here that is holding this driver's box onto this rocker. The right side is already loose. So I think I'm going to lay this forward and just take some bolt cutters and see if I can't cut this loose. If I can get to it. Yeah, maybe a hacksaw is going to work better. This is kind of just unhandy to get to. Maybe I can get to it the other direction. About to have a wreck, I think. Well, this is one of those indications that tells me this top piece of wood on the rear main frame of this body underneath this rocker is an added on repair piece. This bolt goes through both layers, but this bolt here you see only goes through the first main layer, which I think is the original bolt. And when we were first examining these top irons, why they are so different from the right side to the left side is another indication that these irons were not original. They were repairs on top of this secondary plate on top of the main frame. So I'm not going to put these back on when I rebuild this body. These are a repair, not part of the original. So a fair number of these bolts are just spinning in this rotted wood, so I'm just going to go ahead and cut them off. that's the right side rocker assembly. So I have the right side rocker irons laid out here on the floor, and I laid them along the crack in my concrete floor to simulate what's going to be the straight framework of the body frame. And you'll notice on this end, you'll see the irregular bend here in the back end of this rocker iron. This portion here should be in line with the main frame on the body. But because of this bend, I would say this indicates where the back end of this coach, when it was wrecked, took the brunt of the damage, broke the main frame. That most likely is why they had to double plate it. Instead of taking out the whole frame of the body and replacing it, they just patched this broken back end of the main frame, which bent this iron. So this is the back end of the left side, and you can see the plane of where the framework would have been, and see how this is out of alignment. It's not in the plane. It doesn't have quite as severe a bend here from the damage, but it has a very definite bend here again, where I think the tail end of this coach, when it went through its wreck, sustained the majority of the damage and probably broke the back end of this coach off. Why they have this double plate and these two irons that are sandwiching, trying to reinforce the broken mainframe that was original. So the front of these rocker irons still have a nice uniform bend to them where they didn't undergo the damage. This is the right side, and this is the front of the left side, and it's nice and uniform as well. So we're beginning to see a little more of the picture of what might have happened to this coach back in the day. The grandson said that this had been through a wreck. Well, from the signs of the damage and these bent irons on these back rockers, somehow the right side rear of this coach took the brunt of the blow, breaking the framework. The left side rocker irons are not bent as severely, but evidently also broke the mainframe, to where whoever repaired this plated the mainframe, topped it with whatever iron that they had handy, and made this coach runnable. Can you imagine what would have happened if this coach went end for end? I don't know what happened. This is all just pure speculation, but the back of this coach took the brunt of the damage on this coach. Kind of fun to see this puzzle come together. Once again, thanks for following along. Thanks for watching.